Welcome to Daily English Dialogues channel. Today we are embarking on, well, a really comprehensive deep dive. It's designed specifically for you, the ambitious learner,
Hmm.
to decode the modern fitness environment. This world, it's often seen just as a place to exercise,
Yeah.
but it's actually a pretty sophisticated ecosystem. It's got its own specific financial rules, unwritten social contracts, and honestly, an incredibly dense technical lexicon.
Indeed. And our mission today, it really goes beyond just physical fitness, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
We aim to equip you not just with, say, basic vocabulary, but with the more advanced understanding you need to navigate the whole gym environment, from that intimidating fine print on contracts
Oh, yeah, contract.
all the way to the precise mechanics of advanced training principles.
Mm.
And with absolute confidence.
Right.
We've really meticulously synthesized our source material here to give you clear, actionable insights. And we're focusing heavily on enhancing your command of specialized English in this, well, high-energy, often demanding setting.
It really is about conquering that initial apprehension, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
People often call it gym-timidation.
That's the term, yeah. Gym-timidation. It's real.
And by making sure you understand the rules of engagement, you kind of move from being an outsider to becoming an active participant. We're going to unlock the fluency you need, not just to work out, but really to optimize your whole experience of the facility.
Exactly. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's start our exploration right at that first major hurdle, the administrative side of things. Joining a gym means navigating a sometimes confusing financial vocabulary and dealing with some pretty strict contractual commitments.
Yeah, this point is definitely fraught with potential pitfalls. A discerning approach is really essential here. Prospective members, you really need to differentiate clearly between the main membership structures you'll see. The first one, and often most appealing initially, is the month-to-month plan.
Okay, month to month. The big draw there is the flexibility, right? And maybe the volatility.
Precisely. Contextually, it implies a membership you can stop whenever you want, generally without a penalty.
So you can cancel anytime.
Yeah.
That sounds ideal if your schedule is, all over the place.
It does. It bypasses those long-term contractual obligations, but there's always a but.
Uh-huh.
That very flexibility means more financial risk for the gym.
Makes sense.
So consequently, the month-to-month rate is almost always more expensive if you look at it over the long term,
Okay.
which contrasts sharply with the other main option, the yearly contract.
Right, the yearly one.
This usually offers a significantly cheaper annualized rate, but the trade-off is it locks you into a fixed commitment, usually 12 months, sometimes even longer.
So the gym gets reliable income.
Yep.
And the member gets a better deal per month if they stick with it.
Exactly. That trade-off, premium flexibility versus discounted commitment, it's really crucial for you, the listener, to grasp before signing anything.
Now, something you see advertised a lot, especially by big chains, is 24/7 365 access. What does that actually mean beyond just, the numbers?
Well, it's a pretty definitive promise, isn't it? Perpetual availability. 24 means it's open 24 hours a day,
Okay.
7 for 7 days a week.
Right.
And 365 means every single day of the year, holidays included.
Wow. So logistically, that must mean robust security, maybe automated entry.
Absolutely. Strict contingency planning, too. But for you, the user, it signifies incredible freedom. Train whenever suits you, dawn or midnight.
Let's talk about ending things. Necessary terminology around stopping a contract early. If circumstances change and you need to end your commitment prematurely, you're said to break a contract. What happens then? What tools do gyms use to soften the financial blow for themselves?
Well, the primary mechanism is usually the cancellation fee. It's often framed as an early termination penalty.
A penalty, okay.
Yeah, and this fee is strategically calculated to protect their business model. Our
Wow.
sources show it can be quite substantial, a real disincentive, sometimes, $200 or even more,
Wow.
especially if you cancel early in the contract term.
So it's not just a small fee.
No, often it's structured to recoup the difference between the discounted rate you got and what you would have paid month to month for the time you used.
Ouch. So careful financial assessment before signing is really key then. Avoid that sticker shock later.
Paramount. Absolutely paramount.
Which makes that step before signing even more critical. The free trial or trial membership.
Oh, invaluable. Absolutely invaluable.
If, say, a 3-day trial is standard, what should you really be looking at during that short window to check if the place is genuinely a good fit?
Right. It's not just about getting a few free workouts in. You need to use that trial for some forensic analysis.
Forensic analysis, I like that.
Yeah. Check peak hour crowding, see how busy it gets.
Good point.
Look at the maintenance, the hygiene protocols. Is the equipment clean? Does it work properly?
And just the general atmosphere. Does it feel right for you? Determining if it's a good fit goes way beyond just how close it is to your house. You need to see if the hours, the culture, the equipment,
Yeah.
if it all aligns with your actual realistic training routine and, well, your personality before you commit any money.
That makes sense. Now, the sources mention a pretty startling statistic about commitment.
Ah, yeah.
Apparently, around 6.3% of Americans pay for gym memberships they just never use.
It's a sobering figure, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it really highlights the psychological aspect of this whole transaction.
How so?
Well, many people commit based on an idealized future self.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the aspirational version of themselves.
The one who goes to the gym 5 times a week.
Exactly. Rather than their current actual habits.
Right.
And that's precisely why understanding that financial lexicon we talked about and choosing the right commitment level for you based on objective evidence, not just optimism, is so key to avoiding becoming one of those non-utilizing statistics. Financial waste, really. Okay, let's shift gears slightly to the legal side, the paperwork. The critical release form. It often looks like a really dense document, but its main function is pretty straightforward, correct?
Its function is foundational, yes. It's legal paperwork specifically drafted to give the gym operators immunity. Immunity from liability if a member gets hurt.
So by signing, you're basically saying you accept the risks involved. Assumption of risk, is that the term?
That's it, exactly. Assumption of risk. So, for example, if you drop a heavy weight or get injured because of maybe a pre-existing condition or even just using bad form, that signed release form basically asserts the gym isn't legally responsible for what happened.
What's fascinating, and maybe a bit frustrating, is the language used in these forms. We call it legalese.
Ah, legalese.
For someone learning English, facing these long, complex documents must be incredibly daunting.
Oh, absolutely. Legalese is characterized by, archaic phrasing, really convoluted sentence structures, specialized jargon. It makes it difficult even for native speakers to fully understand.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It creates this linguistic barrier that unfortunately leads many people to just, skip to the bottom and sign.
Just to get it over with.
Exactly. And while that's understandable, given how dense these documents are, it means you're potentially waiving important rights without fully grasping the legal implications.
A risky move.
Oh.
So, okay, you've navigated the contract, signed the release form. What's next? Often it's the personal training consultation. Our sources describe this pretty bluntly, actually. They call it a glorified sales pitch.
Huh. Well, that term is often quite accurate because the consultation is usually a highly structured process. A sales funnel, really, designed to convert your interest into a typically high-value purchase.
How does it start?
It almost always begins with building rapport. That seemingly casual chat about mutual things, the weather, your commute, weekend plans.
Small talk.
Right. But its purpose is strategic. Establish trust. Lower your sales resistance before they get down to business.
Okay, so after the rapport building, the trainer shifts into the needs analysis.
Correct.
The sources mention a technique called timeline selling past, present, future. How does that work?
It's quite clever, actually. It's where they do the diagnostic work to find leverage points for the sale. The goal is to isolate 2 critical psychological drivers, the pain points and the pleasure points.
Pain points and pleasure points, okay.
Pain points are your current dissatisfactions. Maybe it's chronic low energy, maybe recent weight gain, maybe you just feel subjectively like you're at a 5 out of 10 for health or motivation.
Right. Things you want to change.
Exactly. The trainer probes these areas, gets you talking about them, often until you articulate some genuine emotional discomfort with your current state.
And the pleasure points, that's the opposite, the goal.
Absolutely. The trainer uses visualization.
Yeah.
They might ask you to recall a time you felt your peak fitness, your 9 out of 10 self. The consultation then meticulously contrasts that 5 out of 10 pain point with the 9 out of 10 pleasure point. They establish this clear, urgent gap.
Creating the need.
Precisely. And then the personal training package is positioned not just as a service, but as the exclusive, immediate solution to bridge that gap.
Makes sense. They create the problem, then sell the solution.
And they often amplify the urgency by linking the emotional cost of staying at that 5 out of 10 to the financial cost of the training package needed to get you to 9 out of 10.
Wow, quite the process. But the sales mastery doesn't stop there, apparently.
No, it often doesn't.
Our analysis shows trainers use advanced tactics to preemptively mitigate objections, even before they mention the price. Can you give some examples?
Sure, a skillful trainer, before talking costs, might address time availability. They'll ask something like, okay, assuming we find the perfect schedule for you, how many hours a week can you realistically dedicate to this?
Locking down the time commitment first.
Exactly, securing that commitment. They might also use the partner check, if it seems relevant,
What's that?
asking something like, is there anyone else, maybe a partner or spouse, whose opinion you'd need to consider before making a decision of this magnitude?
Hitting off the I need to talk to my partner objection later.
Precisely. It preemptively neutralizes those common objections about time and spousal approval.
So when the price is finally presented,
The only barrier left, ideally for them, is the transaction itself. The whole process is really about engineering consent. It's quite sophisticated.
okay, so the psychological warfare of the sales pitch is over. Hopefully you survived.
Hopefully.
And now the actual physical training can begin. Which brings us nicely to the second big hurdle. Navigating the gym's unwritten social contract and mastering its specific functional lingo. Overcoming that gym intimidation we mentioned is often just a matter of knowing the right thing to say at the right time.
Absolutely. Fluency in the gym's language is, well, it's paramount. Not just for fitting in, but for safety and effectiveness, too.
Yeah.
We've identified 5 phrases that really form the bedrock of gym interaction. They cover both safety and just basic communal courtesy.
Okay, let's tackle the most critical safety phrase first. Can you spot me? What exactly are you asking for here, and what's the vital etiquette around responding?
Right. This is an explicit request for help, specifically mechanical assistance during a really heavy lift, one where you're pushing your limits, particularly for exercises like the barbell bench press, where failure can be dangerous.
Okay, so the spotter isn't lifting the weight for you.
No, not ideally. Their role is to provide just the minimal necessary help, maybe at your weakest point, what lifters call the sticking point, to prevent you from failing the rep completely or getting injured. Our sources definitely highlight how dangerous failing a heavy chest press without a spotter can be.
And the etiquette for the person asked to spot. What if the weight looks, frankly, too heavy for them?
This is crucial. It is an ethical imperative to decline if you genuinely doubt your ability to help safely.
So, safety over politeness.
Absolutely. A polite refusal, maybe suggesting they lighten the load slightly or find someone stronger, shows responsibility, not rudeness.
And if you do agree to spot,
Your concentration must be absolute. No distractions. You're responsible for their safety at that moment.
okay. Now, after a tough, successful set, the spotter might say something encouraging. The ultimate compliment. All you.
Ah, yes, all you. That is perhaps the highest form of praise you can get from a spotter in the weight room.
What does it signify?
It confirms that their help wasn't needed or was so minimal that you successfully completed those final tough reps entirely under your own power. It's a real affirmation of your strength. It signals the training was effective. A great feeling.
Definitely. Okay, let's shift to logistics, especially in crowded gyms. Sharing equipment. The standard, polite way to ask someone how long they'll be on a machine is, how many sets left?
Yes, this is the fundamental time management question on the gym floor. Simple, direct, effective. And the answer you get dictates what you do next.
Oh, so.
Well, if the person says they only have 1 or 2 sets left, you'll probably just wait patiently nearby. It won't be long.
Okay.
But if they say something like 3, 4, or even 5 sets remaining, well, that's a longer wait.
Right.
So the questioner will often politely move on, or maybe they'll ask the next key phrase.
Which leads us perfectly to, can I work in with you? Or sometimes you hear, can I share with you?
Exactly. This phrase is basically a negotiation to use the equipment together, synchronously. It's a formal request to alternate sets.
How does that work in practice?
The etiquette is, while the person currently using the equipment takes the rest period maybe 60, 90 seconds, you quickly jump in and do your set.
Makes sense. Keeps things moving.
Yes, it's a really collaborative system that optimizes equipment use, especially during those busy peak hours.
And when you are working in like that, the social contract involves more than just taking turns, doesn't it? There's a shared responsibility.
Absolutely. When you agree to work in with someone, you're also sort of tacitly agreeing to help maintain the space and the equipment's readiness.
Like what?
Well, actively wiping down the bench or handles after your set is key, basic hygiene. And maybe helping load or unload weight plates if the other person is using a significantly different weight than you. It just minimizes downtime and keeps the flow going for both of you.
Good etiquette.
Yeah.
Okay, final key phrase. Before you just grab a piece of equipment that looks free, the essential check is, are you using this?
Yes. This is your preventative measure against awkwardness or even conflict. It's a polite check to make sure that equipment, even if it looks empty, hasn't just been temporarily left by someone.
How can you tell?
Look for clues. Tokens of ownership, you might say.
Hmm.
A towel draped over the bar,
Uh-huh.
a water bottle sitting on the bench, maybe some weight plates left on the floor nearby.
Like sign someone's coming back.
Exactly. Asking this simple question avoids accidentally taking someone's spot and causing unnecessary friction. Just takes a second.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
So beyond these specific phrases, our sources really stress the importance of general core gym etiquette, things that create a positive environment for everyone. What are the absolute must-dos?
Well, the foundational one, the cardinal rule perhaps, is re-racking your weights, putting things back where you found them, promptly.
Why is that so important?
2 reasons. 1, abandoned dumbbells or plates clutter the space and stop others from using the equipment or the area. 2, they're a genuine tripping hazard. Safety issue.
Okay, re-rack weights. Got it. What else?
Respecting personal space.
Hmm.
Don't crowd people when they're in the middle of a lift. Give them room.
Makes sense.
And hygiene, again, is non-negotiable. Come to the gym clean, please. And meticulously wipe down every piece of equipment you use with the provided disinfectant spray and towels every time.
Yep.
For the next person.
Right. And what about noise? Managing sound and movement?
Yeah.
Is there an unspoken rule about, like, controlled intensity?
Yes, that relates mostly to noise pollution. Look, heavy lifting is intense, we get that. But etiquette demands minimizing excessive noise. That means no dropping or slamming weights down unnecessarily.
Oh, no.
It can be really disruptive, startling, and frankly, it's often interpreted as showing off, or worse, a lack of control. Aggression, even.
Okay, so control the weights, control the noise.
Exactly. By really diligently applying all these social and linguistic rules, the phrases, the etiquette, that anxiety, that gym intimidation, it really does decrease significantly. And you help foster an atmosphere that feels more collaborative and professional for everyone.
All right, moving on from the social rules to the science of it all. We need to tackle the technical lexicon, the specific words you need to understand training plans and reach your goals. Let's start with the absolute basics for quantifying effort. Reps and sets.
Okay. These 2 terms are the fundamental building blocks of pretty much any workout program you'll see. A rep short for repetition is just one single complete performance of an exercise. So if you do 10 push-ups in a row, that's 10 reps.
Simple enough. And a set.
A set is simply a structured group of those repetitions. You do your reps, then you take a defined rest period, and that whole block is 1 set.
Got it. So if a plan says 4 sets of 8 reps for squats.
It means you'll squat 8 times, rest, then repeat that sequence 3 more times, for a total of 32 squats, broken up by rest periods.
Okay. And our sources say that certain structures, like maybe 3-4 sets of 6-12 reps, are pretty standard for goals like building strength or hypertrophy, which is muscle growth.
That's a very common range, yes.
Yeah.
But to keep making progress, to keep growing, you need a more sophisticated approach than just doing the same thing forever.
Right. You plateau eventually.
Exactly. Which brings us to the crucial principle of progressive overload.
Progressive overload. Sounds important.
It's not just important, it's the absolute physiological necessity for continued adaptation. It's non-optional if you want to keep getting stronger or building muscle.
So what does it mean in practice?
It means you must gradually and strategically increase the challenge, the training stimulus, over time.
By adding weight.
That's the most common way, yes, adding more weight to the bar. But it could also mean doing more repetitions with the same weight. Or increasing the number of sets, or even just improving your form, making the exercise harder that way, or training more frequently. The point is, the overall demand has to increase systematically.
This sustained challenge forces the muscles to adapt and get stronger.
Precisely. That's the core idea.
Now, when we talk about the main driver of hypertrophy, muscle growth, the sources highlight something called mechanical tension. Can you break that down?
Sure. Mechanical tension refers specifically to the physical force that's exerted on the muscle fibers during resistance training. We often focus on things like the pump feeling or muscle soreness.
DOMS, yeah.
Right, delayed onset muscle soreness. But while those are related, the primary signal for growth is that sustained high-intensity tension on the muscle itself, especially when the muscle is forced to work near its maximum capacity, close to failure.
Okay, failure. How do we define that technically in lifting? Is it just when you can't lift it anymore?
It's a bit more precise than that. Training to failure means reaching the point during a set where your muscle physically cannot perform another repetition with correct controlled form.
The good form part is key.
Absolutely. Cheating the rep doesn't count. This point of technical failure is highly stimulating for growth, yes. But training to complete failure all the time can also cause a lot of systemic fatigue. It can burn you out.
Right. So how do we manage that intensity precisely?
Well, this is where modern training methods use more nuanced tools. One really useful concept is reps in reserve, or RIR.
Reps in reserve, RR. Okay.
Mhm.
How does that work? How does it make measuring effort more objective?
RIR is a very practical way to estimate how close you are to failure without actually going there every single time. So let's say you finish a set of squats and you honestly feel like you could have done maybe 2 more reps with good form before failing.
Okay.
Then you trained at 2 RIR for that set. 2 reps left in the tank.
I see. And is there an optimal RIR?
Research suggests that for hypertrophy, training consistently in the 1 to 2 RIR range is often optimal.
So very close to failure, but not quite hitting it every set.
Exactly. It seems to provide enough stimulus for growth without generating so much fatigue that it compromises your recovery or your next workout. RIR is a great tool for more advanced programming, for something called periodization.
Periodization?
Yeah, that's the planned cyclical adjustment of training variables like intensity and volume over time. It helps prevent burnout and keeps you progressing past plateaus. RIR helps you manage the intensity part of that cycle.
Very useful. Now, for people looking to maybe boost intensity further or make workouts more time efficient, there are specific techniques. Let's talk about the superset and the drop set.
Right. These are ways to increase the workout density or metabolic stress.
Mm.
A superset is basically doing 2 different exercises back to back with little or no rest in between.
What kind of exercises?
Could be targeting opposing muscle groups, like a set of bench presses immediately followed by a set of rows, chest and back.
Okay.
Or it could be 2 exercises for the same muscle group to really fatigue it, like dumbbell curls followed immediately by hammer curls.
Got it. And the benefit?
Saves time, definitely. And it keeps your heart rate elevated, increases the overall training volume in a shorter period.
Okay. And drop sets, how are they different?
A drop set is a technique to extend a single set beyond the initial point of failure. It's pretty intense.
How does it work?
You perform reps with a certain weight until you reach technical failure. Then you immediately reduce the weight maybe by 15% to 30% and keep going, doing more reps with the lighter weight until you hit failure again.
Wow. Sounds brutal.
It can be. It induces really profound metabolic stress and fatigue in that target muscle. Not something you do all the time, but effective for breaking through plateaus sometimes.
Okay. Moving on to how we categorize exercises based on goals. We need to clearly distinguish between compound movements and accessory exercises.
Yes, this is a fundamental distinction in strength training program design. Compound movements are the big lifts. They are multi-joint exercises. Think squats, deadlifts, overhead presses, bench presses, rows.
What makes them compound?
They engage multiple large muscle groups all at the same time. A squat works your quads, glutes, hamstrings, core, back, all together.
Right.
These are really the cornerstone for building overall functional strength, and they also trigger a more significant hormonal response, which can aid growth.
And accessory exercises?
These are typically isolation movements, usually single joint exercises,
Right.
like a bicep curl, a triceps extension, a leg extension, a lateral raise for the shoulders.
And their purpose?
They're designed to target and fatigue one specific muscle group with maximum precision. They help address weaknesses, build muscle in specific areas, and complement the compound lifts.
So you need both, ideally.
For most well-rounded programs aimed at both strength and physique, yes, a combination of compound and accessory work is usually best.
Finally, managing this whole structure, which exercises on which days, balancing work and rest, requires a plan. That's the workout split, right?
Exactly. A workout split is simply how you organize your training sessions across the week.
There are some common examples.
You might have an upper-lower split, where you train upper body one day, lower body the next, or a push-pull legs split, pushing movements one day, pulling the next, legs the third, or maybe just full body workouts 3 times a week.
And the goal of splitting it up.
The strategic organization is vital for managing fatigue and ensuring adequate recovery, specifically making sure you have enough active rest days.
Active rest, so not just sitting on the couch.
Well, it could be complete rest, or it could mean light activity like walking or stretching. The point is, recovery is when the magic happens. That's when the muscles actually repair and grow stronger. The split needs to allow time for muscles to heal. especially from DOMs, that delayed onset muscle soreness.
Ah, yes, DOMS, that stiffness and tenderness you feel a day or two after a hard or new workout.
Exactly. It typically peaks 24 to 72 hours after the exercise. Your split has to guarantee that muscles get enough downtime to recover from DOMs and the stress of training before you hit them hard again.
Okay, for our final, really crucial section, we need to tackle the equipment itself. The sheer amount of metal and machinery on the gym floor can be overwhelming, especially for a beginner.
It really can be disorienting, yes.
So let's try to create a kind of functional guide, a compendium, starting with the strength training equipment.
Good idea. We should probably break it down systematically, maybe into two main categories. Free weights first, then machines.
Okay, free weights versus machines. What's the key difference?
Free weights, think barbells. Dumbbells require you to stabilize the weight yourself. They engage more muscles, including smaller stabilizers, and often translate better to real-world strength. They demand more skill.
And machines.
Machines guide the movement along a fixed path. They provide consistent resistance and often feel easier to learn, making them a great starting point for beginners or for isolating specific muscles.
Okay, let's start with the versatile free weights. What falls under this category?
Right. This is really the core of functional strength training. It includes barbells, those long bars, often Olympic standard ones that weigh 45 pounds or 20 kilos, designed to hold heavyweight plates. Then you have dumbbells, the handheld weights you can use one in each hand or just one, great for addressing imbalances. And don't forget kettlebells, that cannonball shape with a handle.
Right, those are popular.
Yeah, their unique center of mass makes them fantastic for dynamic, full-body conditioning exercises, like the kettlebell swing, which builds explosive power, strength, and endurance all at once.
Okay, now to use these free weights safely, especially the heavy barbells, you need certain structures, right? Racks and benches.
Absolutely essential. The power cage or squat rack is arguably the single most important piece of safety gear in the gym for heavy lifting.
Describe it for us.
It's usually a 4-posted steel frame. The key features are the adjustable safety catches or pins.
And their purpose.
If you fail a lift, say, you can't stand up from a heavy squat, or push the bar off your chest during a bench press, you can safely set the barbell down onto these catches. They prevent the bar from crushing you. Game changer for lifting heavy alone.
Definitely sounds vital. And the weight bench.
The Humble Bench. It's the versatile platform for countless exercises, especially for the upper body. Most are adjustable. You can set them flat, or at various incline or decline angles to target muscles differently.
Okay, moving on to the machines. Let's start with those complex-looking cable systems, the functional trainer.
Ah, the functional trainer, sometimes called a cable crossover machine. It's incredibly versatile. Usually has 2 adjustable cable pulleys, one on each side.
What makes it functional?
It's designed to let you perform exercises that mimic real-life movements, athletic actions, rotational patterns, things you can't easily do with a fixed machine. And a key feature is that it provides consistent resistance throughout the entire movement.
Unlike free weights, where the tension can change.
Exactly. With free weights, leverage changes, cables keep the tension constant. Also, crucially, these machines often operate on a 2.1 cable ratio.
Okay, 2.1 ratio, that sounds technical. What does it mean for the user?
It means the resistance you feel is actually half the weight you selected on the stack.
Really? So if I put the pin in at 100 pounds?
The physics of the pulley system means you're only actually pulling against 50 pounds of resistance.
Why do they do that?
It reduces the inertia, allows for smoother movement, especially for faster or more complex exercises. It makes the resistance more manageable, which is great for targeting smaller muscles, doing rehab work, or focusing on movement quality.
Interesting. Okay, what about more traditional isolation machines that target just one muscle?
Right, lots of these. For the back, a classic is the Lot pull-down machine. You sit down, grab a bar overhead, and pull it down towards your chest, targeting those big latissimus dorsi muscles.
Okay.
For the lower body, there's the leg press machine. Lets you push a very heavy weight with your legs without needing the balance and stability of a squat.
Good for pure leg strength.
Yes. Then you have the leg extension machine, sits you down and isolates the quadriceps on the front of your thighs. And maybe a preacher curl bench for arms?
Preacher curl.
Yeah, it's a padded bench that supports your upper arms, locking your elbows in place. This really isolates the biceps when you curl, minimizing sheeting and strain on the elbow joint.
Got it. Now, there are also some specialized, almost hybrid machines, things that blend free weights and machines or offer unique patterns.
A common one is the Smith machine.
Ah, yes, the barbell on rails.
That's the one. The barbell is fixed within vertical steel rails, so it can only move straight up and down. It usually has safety stops you can twist into place.
So no spotter needed.
Correct.
Hmm.
The big advantage is safety and ease of use. But the downside is, because the path is fixed, it removes the need for your stabilizer muscles to work.
So less functional than free weights.
Generally, yes. It's useful for certain things like specific isolation or maybe safely pushing to failure, but probably less effective for building overall real-world strength compared to a free barbell.
Okay. What about that hexagonal bar some people use for deadlifts?
Ah, the trap bar or hex bar. Excellent piece of kit. It's a hexagonal frame you stand inside to lift.
How is it different from a straight barbell deadlift?
The handles are at your sides, not in front of you. This puts the weight more in line with your center of gravity.
And the benefit of that?
It generally reduces stress on the lower back compared to a conventional deadlift. It also tends to involve the quads a bit more. It's fantastic for building power, great for athletes, and often easier for beginners to learn than the straight bar deadlift. Hits the glutes, quads, and hamstrings really well.
Very useful info.
Okay.
Okay, let's switch gears completely now to the cardiovascular and conditioning equipment. We should probably group these by impact level, maybe?
Good idea. Impact level is a key consideration for many people. So starting with standard, often higher impact cardio, you've got the classic treadmill, great for running, walking, incline work, but definitely not low impact on the knees and hips for running.
Right.
And the exercise bike. Stationary cycling is generally low impact. And bikes come in a few flavors, right?
Yes. You've got the standard upright bike, then the more intense spinning bike used in classes, often with adjustable resistance, and the recumbent bike, where you sit back in a larger seat with back support. Very comfortable, very low impact.
Good summary. Now, what about options for people who need low impact but still want a really effective, maybe full body workout?
This is where machines like the elliptical come in, also called a cross trainer.
Describe the movement.
It has foot pedals that move in an elliptical gliding path, and usually handles for your arms, too. It mimics running, but without the impact. Zero impact on the knees, basically, while engaging both upper and lower body.
Excellent choice for many. And another top contender for low impact, full body.
The rower, or rowing machine. The
Huh?
ergometer.
Ah, the rower. Arguably delivers one of the most comprehensive workouts available.
Why is that?
Its high intensity works nearly every major muscle group: legs, core, back, arms, demands coordination, builds power and aerobic endurance, all while being very low impact on the joints. Phenomenal machine.
Okay. Finally, let's touch on some of the more specialized, perhaps higher intensity conditioning tools you might see.
Right. These often challenge your power output and conditioning in different ways. You might see a ski erg.
Looks like two poles you pull down.
Exactly. It simulates the upper body and core action of cross-country skiing. Fantastic for cardiovascular fitness and building upper body endurance. Very taxing.
Then there are the air bikes. Those look menacing.
Huh. They have a reputation, often called assault bikes or similar names. The key feature is the large fan wheel that provides resistance.
How does the resistance work?
It's user-powered.
Mhm.
The harder you pedal and push-pull the handles, the more air the fan moves, and the resistance increases exponentially. They force you to sustain high-power output. Brutally effective for high-intensity interval training.
And the stair stepper, or stairmaster, the endless staircase.
Right. Mimics walking continuously upstairs, places intense, localized stress on the quads and glutes. Fantastic for building aerobic capacity and leg endurance, but it can be very challenging.
We should also briefly mention simpler tools, maybe.
Good point. Don't forget the basics. A simple jump rope or skipping rope is an incredibly effective, inexpensive cardio and coordination tool. And weighted vests. Wearing one can significantly intensify bodyweight exercises like push-ups or squats or even just walking or running on the treadmill.
Wow. Okay, that's a pretty comprehensive tour. Knowing these terms, from the subtle difference a 2.1 cable ratio makes to why a trap bar might be better for someone's back, to choosing low-impact cardio, is really empowering.
It absolutely is. It allows you, the listener, to choose equipment intelligently based on your goals and needs, to maximize how effective your workouts are, and crucially, to train safely and target the right muscles. It demystifies the gym floor.
Hashtag outro. So we have really conducted a meticulous deep dive today, haven't we, into the whole fitness environment. We really have.
You should now feel, well, much more fluent in that complex language of getting a membership, more confident navigating the social side, the etiquette of the gym floor, and hopefully you possess a much better functional understanding of those technical training terms and all that specialized equipment we just discussed.
Yeah, that synthesis of knowledge, The language, the social rules, the technical stuff, it really is the powerful antidote to that initial apprehension, isn't it?
It is. It promotes safety, efficiency, and ultimately makes your physical efforts much more effective.
What seems really clear from our discussion is that learning the precise, specialized lexicon of the gym, it does more than just give you physical direction. It kind of grants you intellectual control over your physical journey.
That's a great way to put it, intellectual control.
We saw how success in the gym relies heavily on discipline. That rigorous, methodical approach needed to understand and use these complex systems, whether it's understanding anatomy or just reading a contract carefully.
hmm And that rigorous method, that commitment to mastering a specialized vocabulary and its application, it's highly transferable, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Think about how applying that exact same discipline, that structured step-by-step approach of seeking precision in language and how you use it, could be a really robust metaphor for achieving success in almost any complex area of your life.
Like what?
Well, whether you're trying to master advanced grammar in a new language, like many of
Mhm.
our listeners are with English,
Right.
or maybe navigating the technical jargon of a specialized professional field, the underlying principle holds true.
Understanding the system through its language.
Precisely.
So, we'll leave you, our listener, with this final thought to ponder. Where else in your intellectual life, where the information might seem dense, maybe the rules are unspoken, and true expertise depends on mastering the specific language, where else could benefit from a similar, highly structured deep dive into its unique technical lexicon?
The journey through the gym really proves that fluency in the language of the system is the definitive first step toward commanding true control.
Well said. Until next time, keep diving deep.